Miss Lady T. She looks kind of sad right now. Anyway, I took a picture of it during the day. It looks pretty. They come out about once a year in the beginning. I shouldn't be out here this time of night, but since I'm a rebel and everything, confirmation that I'm out here tonight to do my little show. Today I took a picture, or I was watching the Ditch Witch, and they're all gone now and stuff. And the guy had come up, he knocked on the door, and he's just like, oh, can we use your driveway? And I'm just like, sure, use my driveway, it's cool, it's clear, didn't care, that's cool. And they had the Ditch Witch in front of my house, a bunch of, different trucks and whatnot and stuff, and the picture I took was right before they loaded up the Ditch Witch back on the trailer. They didn't end up digging in like a big ditch or anything like that, but I got to thinking, something I used to say a lot with my ex all the time, because he was jealous, and back in the day when we first started dating, I would have just random cars come up my driveway, they'll do burnouts and peel outs and just the most, and not knowing half who these cars was or who these people was. Sometimes I knew, sometimes I didn't. I think because they seen his car, one headlight, because they seen his, vehicle, that they just, trying to cause problems, And I hadn't dated anybody around here or anything. I had a couple friends, but I never dated anybody around here that could just roll up on the driveway, Especially seeing another vehicle here besides my own. It's like, come on now, it's my boyfriend, whatever. But I used to say, I said, you know what? I said, I'm going to build a moat around my house and put mutant sharks, mutant different things in it, and put a moat around my house. And that way nobody can get across unless I lower the bridge. Well, I got to thinking about the Ditch Witch, and I'm like, confirmation. I got to thinking about the Ditch Witch, I'm like, I just manifested my moat. They didn't end up digging, they said they might have to dig up, part of the yard, and I'm just like, it's cool, whatever. They always put down the grass and put the dirt back down and stuff. But I got to thinking, I'm like, what if I manifested a moat and it's just coming to pass? And I'm like, it was just a funny thought. And as I thought that, and I think I was saying it out loud to myself. As I walked in, there was the commercial on TV, and it was like, yes, you got it. And there's just like, oh shit, maybe I did that by accident. So just watch what you manifest, man. I mean, I was just really just joking around, but that's a robin, and it's 11 o'clock at night. It's just crazy things that happen around here. But I got to thinking, something else I got to thinking about. I know a lot of us are going through stuff, and you've had inheritances took, you've had money took from you, maybe money you didn't even know you had, in your country, out your country, whatever. And I got to thinking, and I watch these TikTok compilations on YouTube all the time, and I watch different things, and people will say, like, the way I hear it and the way it goes and the way I believe, this is my opinion, that before we're put back on the earth to reincarnate, or however you think it goes, this is my opinion too, but reincarnated, come back, and we're here to do stuff we didn't do before, make the world a better place, raise the vibration, get people aware of different things, and I got to thinking, allegedly, supposedly, we sign up for this before we come down here, to go through all this shit, to make us a better person, to raise the vibration, become the best person you can be. Maybe you didn't get it accomplished last lifetime, and you have to come back again. And I got to thinking, these experiences that we sign up for, in the ethers or whatever, that we've agreed to, and you can believe me, you cannot believe me, this is just me, and this might sound far out, but I got to thinking, and this is kind of far out, Just stay with me. I know I'm leading you on to it, right? Um, but I wonder if these inheritances and all these things are stolen, and I believe we'll get these things back. You know, we live our best life, do what we're supposed to do, um, serve our purpose here, you know, in our lifetime, in this lifetime. And I wonder if all these things are stolen, and it comes across a lot of tarot and stuff I'll get by that people's paid other people to watch you. People's paid people, you know, that are drug dealers to come at you to, you know, tempt you with this or with that, or different, you know, in my situation, different guys to come up to tempt you with this, or hey, baby, let's go out on the lake. I live 400 miles away from the nearest lake, you know, like I'm southern, you know, Ohio, so it's just like different things that are offered to you, and you just, you know, deny because I'm not doing such things and put myself in danger. But I wonder if people, these inheritances and this money stolen, I wonder if it's to fund our little experiences. I'm sure it's not cheap paying these people to watch us, paying these people to come at us with different, you know, temptations, you know, to make your vibration higher. I'm getting a little breeze, you know. But I wonder if it's funding for all this stuff, and some of our experiences are different than other people's experiences. But I wonder if you sign up for like experience mega, you know, DEFCON 1 or 5, or I forget how that goes. If it's to fund our little experiences, to pay these people to watch us, to oh my God, confirmation. Did you hear it? The bus. And I know I'm outside talking about this because I'll get confirmations out here from the universe when I'm talking about things. But I wonder if it's to fund our experiences. Or to fund not our experience. So, you know, cause I live by the bare necessities, you know, and I'm blessed to have a roof over my head. I'm blessed to have, you know, everything in my life. I'm happy that I have that. But, you know, it sucks if you're struggling and you're, you know, paycheck to paycheck, penny to penny, and, you know, these people out here doing the most. And you kind of start figuring shit out. And say you figure this shit out, and that's what you're supposed to do. Maybe the purpose here is to figure out, you know, not that everybody's got people doing wrong against them. I'm sure people are out here living their best life. Maybe you have a lot of friends, you know. Maybe people aren't, you know, doing that stuff to you. But maybe you're aware, you know, not to get outside of your head too much, but not to be inside of your head too much either, you know. But what if it's to fund, you know, because, you know, I hear and suspect that these people are paid from, you know, these people ain't pulling out of their own pockets to have spell work done on you, to go to these wizards and witches and warlocks to have all this bad shit, you know, casting hexes on you, your money, you know, money spells or fucking beauty spells and things to make you feel inadequate, like you can't get on and talk about your situation and to be quiet. And they just keep doing this stuff. And maybe we're here so many times that our job is to call these people out, you know? And that's, you know, things start happening and you start doing good, not doing low vibrational things, not, you know, lying to people, not snaking people and going behind their backs and talking bad about them. And it's hard not to talk bad about some people. When you find out some of the stuff these people's done to you, and the stuff, especially in my town, the stuff that occurs that you see, and you pray to God that this stuff is not happening. And I hope it's not, but you wonder, you're placed here for a reason. And maybe I've been here so long in most of your life in my hometown. I've been out of my hometown maybe 2 years, and the rest of the time I've always lived here. And I have heard that if you want to break out and do something different, to get out of where you've lived all your life, because these people know you. They know me as Tanya, that, you know, she's a big stoner, or she, you know, she just rocks out and hangs out with people and has people over to smoke with, and just, you know, nothing too hateful, but I dabbled in smoking things I shouldn't smoke and hanging out with the crowds that did these things, and I cut everybody off. And this includes, some family, all my friends. I don't have anybody I can say, hey, friend, come over and let's talk. Or, hey, friend, come over, let's smoke one and hang out and chill. No, I've cut all these people out. I've cut them all out, and it's been the best thing I've ever done. It's not non-lonely. It's lonely. I'm not going to, lie about that. But a lot of times we have to be on our own to find our own way. The spiritual journey, maybe the person you're with is not on the same frequency as you. You're not equally yoked, and it will cause troubles, infidelity, lying, cheating, stealing, and I found out a lot about people I've hung out with, or used to hang out with, that, doing the most, saying the most, stealing the most, and it's like, come on now. But just, you hear like, oh, the family paid this one off, or family paid this one to sign your name, or to commit fraud, or say you're doing this when you're not, or say you're going here and you're at home and you're not doing anything but minding your own business and taking care of your family. But they've used this money that they have stolen, or that you didn't know you had, or that you was left, or that you never got, to give these people. People ain't gonna do this shit for free just because you said, hey, why don't you go over there and see if she wants to buy a this, or wants to smoke a that. And they have to be giving them something, so just thinking, well, they're paying you out of the money that you should have got, but instead you getting it and being abundant and doing what you're supposed to be doing with it, good things with it. And another thing, maybe you're just not mature enough to handle, large amounts of money, or the money that was supposed to be given to you, and the universe wants to test you. Are you going to spend it on a bunch of, smoke, or are you going to buy food for your house? Are you going to take care of, repairs? Are you going to get yourself a vehicle? It's just, and I think once you get in alignment with that you start figuring out, like, if I had money, what would you do? If you had a large sum of money, what would you do? A lot of us are going shopping, or I'm going to buy me a big bag of smoke and smoke it up, And I do smoke. I smoke cigarettes, and I do partake in the 420, but I do pray over my smoke. I know that sounds weird. I pray over it to enlighten me, to bring me closer, not further, not make me paranoid. But, and I have it tonight, and I try to get on here and not be under the influence of anything. Sometimes I talk a little more when I'm smoking, just because I don't care what they say. And you shouldn't care what you say, what people think about you and say anyway. You should just be, living your best life. And I've had problems with that sometimes, being backward and being too shy and not being able to, say what's on my mind completely, or just drawing a blank when I get on here. And I've just kind of been switching my little videos up and stuff. I still got my little studio thing going on in the house, and in, my different room, my bedroom, I got all kinds of lights, and I like to jam out and listen to music, love music, But yeah, I was just thinking the last couple of days, and I was like, I wonder if all this money that you wasn't given, and I believe that it's, you're in your full purpose, and you're in alignment, and you're balanced, that you will get this money back. And whether it's lottery, whether it's from them bringing it back to you, whether it's you getting some of it back because they spend a lot of it, paying people to do the shit to you and to drag you through the mud and the dirt and to see what you do. They're tests, you got to get by these tests. And I always say this is Jumanji level 15. The re-entries going into the next level are you get skinned up and shit sometimes. And I've had some emotional ups and downs this week. Just, you get to thinking on people that's done the most to you. And it's just like, these people have been in your life, your whole life. And you're just like, God, I've done nothing to these people. I mean, I used to talk, about this one or about that. I try not to, even though I know they've done the most to me or about me, or said stuff behind my back. You have to forgive. You can't carry that burden with you. You don't have to forget, but you do need to forgive, because you don't want to carry that with you. Just like jealousy, don't carry it with you. You got to let stuff go. And, you know, that's what I wanted to come on here to say today. Or tonight, I should say. Usually out here on the porch, so I just figured, I'm like, I strike an urge, and a lot of times I get more of the urges in the morning because I don't have the day's, you know, fluff coming in or the day's problems coming in, and you're more clear-headed in the morning. A lot of times I'm waking up from dreams, and I like to talk about those. There for about 3 or 4 days, I had me some crazy-ass dreams, man, and it was just revealing a lot to me about what these people have done. Even though, you know, I don't go up to them and, did you do it? You know, they're not going to tell, oh, yeah, we did take this. And, oh, yeah, we did not give you this money because we didn't think you can handle it, so we just took it from you. Oh, yeah, we didn't make false insurance claims on you and tell everybody that you're unalive to collect on insurance. No, we didn't do nothing. You can't really say that shit to people, you know. You're not supposed to, because it's going to cause arguments. They're going to deny you. They're going to say you're nuts or crazy. And if you don't have solid proof, just know in your heart and tell other people, I mean, not to talk behind their back, because you're not trying to do that either, but for yourself to be aware, you know, of what has been happening in your life, known or unknown, you know. And you can tell by different energies, you know, good energies, bad energies, and using your discernment and trying to weed out the good thoughts from the bad thoughts. If I get bad thoughts, or if I, you know, have the urge to talk about people or whatever, you know, I'll say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I'll immediately go to confirmation. Immediately go to a better place, because you know, it's your mind, and you can get random thoughts that are just not good thoughts, you know, and you're just like, and not real bad, just, you know, thinking about old times or old encounters or something, that stuff that doesn't mean two hoots today, you know. It doesn't serve your well-being or your good to do and think about these things that you used to do. You think of the future, you think of good things, positive things, and all the, you know, wonderful things you would do if you had that money, if you had, you know, a car to help people and to go places to help people. Or I always thought to, you know, if I had a car and I had money, I would go to the grocery store and I would give a bunch of people money to buy their groceries, just because I've ran out of food a few times, and nobody should go hungry, you know. And there's a lot of things you can do depending on how much money you get, you know. Are you going to go out partying, living it up, living the high life? Or are you going to help the community? Are you going to help people with it? Are you going to do the best that you can do with it to continue your journey, to do the most you can do, serving the higher power, serving spirit, and doing what spirit wants you to do, not what this body, this personal body, human body wants to do. But yeah, just think about that. I mean, I know a lot of people are hurting. They're hurting for money. They're hurting for, or, you know, common things that we need in life that maybe we've had before and we took for granted, and maybe we don't have those things no more. And I tell you, I've been humbled so many times, and I took for granted my car. I took for granted a full fridge. I took for granted having food for my animals all the time. You know, all these things I've encountered. People thinking that they're one way when they're really not. They're in totally other way, but, you know, they can say words and tell you things, but the actions aren't there, you know. And it's just like, you got to use your brain a little bit. Don't get wrapped up in stuff. Don't think your world's over because this happened. The world's over because that. You can make it through a lot of shit. And I know I could be far worse. I know I could be far better. But you have to deal with your situation, what situation you're in right now, at this present time. Live now. Don't worry about the future, because it's not here yet. Don't worry about the past, because it's already happened. So just, you know, going into Friday night here, just everybody, you know, just be aware of your surroundings, and just, you know, think about good things, and try not to think about bad things or what this one's done or what that one's done to you. Just, you know, try to be your best you know. But I just wanted to come on here and say that, and I feel better now. Usually if I don't get on here for a few days, it's almost like it gets built up, and it's just like, oh my God, I got to talk about, you know, you're supposed to talk about this stuff to people, because you might be helping somebody out there that is in a worse situation, or maybe they're in a better situation, and you're helping them out because of this or because of that, but just get on here and talk about your things and your gifts that God's given you. So many gifts. I mean, the dreams I have, the songs I hear, the cars I see, the people I meet, and that's usually, there's workers in the yard or something. I don't get out much, so I'm not meeting many new people or anything like that. But just, and be, on TikTok, be aware of who you're talking to and what you're saying, try not to be low vibrational. And I was on TikTok earlier today, and my dog started scratching and itching all crazy when we got back in the house. And it's summertime, and she does get these like hot spots and stuff. But I do notice if I get encountered with bad energy, my dog will start doing the most, just like my little dog used to do. He used to get up and run around and just act confused and crazy. My big dog, she's not so much like that, but there is signs that she gives me that I can tell if there's bad energy or whatever. And you can usually tell it yourself, but just look at the things around you. Birds chirping real loud if you're outside, or people, getting loud somewhere and stuff. It's like, oh, somebody's having, conversations about you that might not be the most pleasant conversations, But, just, you got to really open your third eye. I mean, I say third ear too, because there's stuff that comes on the TV that I'll think to myself and be outside thinking, I'll come in and a commercial will be on and it'll be like, yes, and you are correct, and do the best. And it's neat how, universe can answer your questions. So, but anyway, Miss Lady T, everybody have a great Friday night. And gonna get back on here tomorrow, do some more things. So, you guys have a great night, Miss Lady T.